Hello, everyone. Welcome to Infinite Joy Financial. Tyson's here, and we have two special guests today, Johnny and his wife Tammy. Thank you for joining us today.
Nice for having us.
Good to be here.
Yes, and we have a really exciting topic that we want to share with you guys for a while now. And the reason why was I attended a family wedding recently, and the wedding was very well planned, beautiful venue, good food. We had a great time. And Teresa and I was, thinking back about our wedding 16 years ago and how we planned our wedding, right? And of course, knowing what we know now with all the financial knowledge that we gathered through the years, then there's a few things that we would do differently in order to maximize the efficiency of our money, right? And so today, Tammy and Johnny, they going to on the 10 or 9 or 10.
This year will be 10.
This year, 10 years anniversary coming up soon, and so I like to kind of find out about their experience, right? How was it like to plan for their wedding 10 years ago, and of course their experience and knowing what they do now, anything that you would do differently. Okay, so Tammy, lady first, why would you start sharing with us about your experience or your journey?
Well, Johnny and I, we had known each other for 5 years and dated for 4 years. And in January of 2012, we decided to tie the knot. Our engagement was in January, and through the planning, we had chose the date in November for our special day, and in November. So we have 10 months for our planning, for our wedding planning. And as you all know, wedding planning is always stressful, long journey, and have a long list we always have to do. And so we jumpstart that by start out planning of saving. And we were working at the time, but at the time, Asian tradition, we expect help from our family members, friends, parents, grandparents, but in our situation, we didn't have that help. So we're working at the time, so we know we have to save. And so we have set out a plan to every month save at least from each one of us $1,000 each, so about $2,000 a month.
That's awesome.
And then so every month we keep on that consistent saving. So we have within the months that we have on the way of about 20K expected to save along the way. And
Awesome.
of course, with once we start planning, we start seeing a lot of expenses that we need to put out from the cake, from the dress, and the venue, all the florists, and so we were.
That's not including the ring, right?
Yes, that is not including the ring.
Right, Johnny?
No. That's effort.
Yeah. So about
What was the
30K
total?
total, would you say? 30K total?
Yeah, it's about expecting about by the time we hit our wedding date should be about 30K. So
Okay.
that what turns out to be our total of our after our wedding was
Budget, yeah.
budget was out 30K.
I see.
So we were still 10K short,
Cool.
when it was all said and done.
Okay.
So obviously, Asian weddings, Vietnamese weddings, the majority of the gifts that are given on our wedding day in envelopes is cash or check,
Checks,
right?
yep.
And
That's
so, knowing we were short and the venue was gracious enough to allow us some extra time to pay. So, by the time we ended the night, we broke even. We were able
Wow.
to gather some of that cash coming in from friends and family and pay the venues and pay the bartender, pay everyone off. And we broke even.
Wow, that's awesome. Right?
Yeah.
So I know most of the wedding, Vietnamese Asian that we know, friends and family, right? Break even is nice, right? Some little profit, right?
Right. It would have been nice to profit.
Yeah.
At least break even because you guys were short about 10K, right? But like the budget is a little bit over from your compared to your saving. But at the end of the day, with everything coming in through the gifts, you guys were able to break even. So congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that's 10 years ago.
10 years
10
ago.
years ago.
So if you count for inflation today,
Right.
so like that wedding you went to, how do you know how much that cost?
Yeah.
I'm afraid to ask because
right?
I wouldn't want to get married again today.
Well, you'll have 3 girls, four total, 3 girls and 1 boy.
Yes.
Oldest is 8 years old.
Oh, this is 8. The youngest is 2.
Okay, you'll have some time to plan for it.
Renew the vows, right?
But like let's say, I don't know. Like I think with inflation 10 years ago, I would say easily like today. I mean 50, 60,000. To plan for the wedding is it's common. Right, especially in the Vietnamese and Asian community, and so okay, cool. So now knowing what we know, right, from your experience, and now with the knowledge that you have gained over the years, then what would be a few things that you would do differently in order to, of course, having the wedding, but like maximize that lump sum or the potential of that money that you had.
Some things I don't know about you, honey, but I probably, if thinking about now, knowing what I know now, I probably would have extended the time of our engagement or set that wedding date a little bit further out so we can save a little bit more money. Number 2, I would have put my money or even borrowed money and put it into a prosperity vault so that we can build cash, have protection for our lives because we're starting a new family together and, go from there. So, that's just... obviously it's a what if instant, right? But now we can kind of apply that to what our 4 kids. We have college to plan for,
right?
Cars and things like that, so we can put that money to use and have more control.
That's awesome. So you guys, when Johnny mentioned about the prosperity vault, and so by that term we refer to a very special type of whole life insurance, right? In fact, is an overfunded, high cash value, but very specially designed whole life insurance contract with a mutual company, not a stock company. So in the next segment, like Johnny and I will go and we will share with you in more detail regarding the benefits of the prosperity vault, because Johnny mentioned knowing what we know now, right? He would actually fund that lump sum into a prosperity vault first, and from there, have access to capital to pay for his wedding. And so stay tuned in a few minutes, and we're gonna get back with you guys with some example. And then I believe this is gonna be very valuable for you, especially if you are somebody out there, the couple out there that engaged, have a couple years before your wedding, or you are in a dating or serious dating relationship that can plan for your wedding like 3 or 4 years down the road. And if you are parents too, right? Because that's really cool, because this knowledge, right, will really help out the family as a whole. So see you guys in a little bit. All right. So in this scenario, this is a situation here. So let's say today a young couple, they have about a year and a half to plan for their wedding, and after budgeting everything, the wedding, let's say, costs about $50,000, right?
Right.
And so this couple, kind of like similar to your situation, let's say they were able to save about 30 or 40,000, right, up to this point, right? And so knowing that they have about 10-15K short, and so what they do is they borrow from parents from both sides, or uncle and aunt, the extra 20,000. So total they have 60,000 in cash and capital, right? And so based on your suggestion earlier, so this couple would take 60,000 and put into a prosperity vault, right? Which is a very specially designed high cash for your whole life policy with a mutual company, right? And so by doing that, okay, in year 1 they put in 60,000, in that contract,
right?
And so what is the benefits next?
That benefit, they've got access to $55,000 in cash right off the bat, and they can start paying off the venue, the different expenses, right? From the ring to the wedding dress, just all the expenses leading up to that point and their wedding planning in that year and a half.
as very nice. So pretty much knowing that the wedding, all the expenses will cost around 50,000, and so having access to 55,000 in cash value will allow them, right, to pay off for the wedding.
Yeah,
right?
pretty much pay off
And
the
so
wedding.
what happened is they take there's a provision called policy loan provision, and that allowed them to borrow against the cash value, right? So what it means is their 60,000 is still in their own bucket, right, growing as a guarantee rate of 2 to 4%, right? Let's say, right, but the 55,000 is not from that 60,000. Is actually the 55,000 is from the general pool of the life insurance company,
Right.
that they are able to have access to, because the debt benefits is the collateral, right? And so they have that money coming out to pay for their wedding, but the original 60,000 is still there,
Building compound interest.
exactly, earning uninterrupted compound interest, right? So that's the beautiful thing about this. And so what happened, based on your point, is they used 50,000 to pay for their wedding, but remember we talk about, right, they would have friends and family and guests that will, especially Asian and Vietnamese community, they will get gifts in cash or checks,
Right.
and so right after the wedding, they're gonna, in your scenario, and most likely in most scenario, right, they will have enough cash to basically actually pay back the policy loan.
Pay back the loan in full.
Right? And so what happened is, right after they do that, they would actually replenish their policy, which mean that they have access to 55,000 in cash value again to borrow against if they need to do it. Okay, so that's just awesome, because now in this scenario, by just doing one step different, they would have the wedding pay off.
Wedding paid off,
And
they have enough cash value to put a down payment on a house.
Yes,
20, 30% or whatever
That's
they
right.
decide. But in today's market, the housing is just going to be harder.
Yep.
But at least they have that access to that cash.
yes, so they basically get the money, do at least 2 jobs for them, pay off the wedding, and earning uninterrupted compound interest, and being available for them right after that.
Yeah, that's 2 birds with one stone. In Tam and Thumb and I's case, it was 1 stone and 1 bird.
Hey,
If
but
only I'd known.
you guys, broke even, which is great. But now we share this, scenario, this knowledge, because I think it's be very so valuable for young couples or for family that are doing this planning together.
Right.
And I think about this, right? In second year, of course, you don't have a wedding to pay for. So let's say this person can save $1,000 a month, right?
Easily doable. I mean,
Yep.
10 years ago, on lower income than what Thumb and I make now, we were still able to save 24.
20K for
20K,
yep.
right?
Yep.
So I mean, we were on track for 24,000 for the year between the both of us, but for a couple, $1,000 a month, that's not much.
Yes. So in second year, let's say this person put in 20,000 in premium, so they deposit 12,000 into their own quote unquote bank or prosperity vault, right? Well, look at the net increase in net cash value after a year is $12,111.
They've
right?
profited $111 already.
Exactly.
in that second year.
Right. Just placing the same money to this vehicle right here. And so what it means is every single year after that, they put in 12,000 in, the net increase in cash flow is going to be higher than that, right? And so let's say year 5 or year 6, right? And so they put in 12,000 in premium, but the net increase is close to 15,000 here, right?
Right.
And so in year 6, this person would have $122,742 to leverage or to borrow against if there is opportunity coming up, or they have a big purchase they want to do. Right. And so that's why having the same habit, which is saving, on a monthly basis, and then having the knowledge of this vehicle, which is the Prosperity Vault, a high cash value, specially designed whole life policy, then it would be such an asset for this person throughout their whole life.
Oh, definitely. All the stages of life. I mean, we're in our 10th year of marriage. Our oldest is 8 years old. So at 10 years, that's 190,000 of cash value to use. Hey, what if we wanted to start a side gig, a side business. Invest in rental property, whatever the case is.
Yep.
That's a nice lump of cash that we wouldn't otherwise have had.
Yes. And by the way, the bonus is that because it's a life insurance product, it comes with a death benefits, right? But more important than the death benefits is the living benefits, right? Because the death benefits will protect you, basically if you pass away for whatever reason. But if you, God forbid, like have a terminal illness or chronic illness, or just something that more critical, like heart attack or stroke, or maybe renal failure, or like life-threatening cancer, like those type of situation is more frequent than your chronic or your terminal, right? You are protected because you have this vehicle, you have this policy as well,
right?
And so not only the cash value, but the protection in terms of your life and your health, right? Is nice to have. Is a huge bonus.
Very, very, very good benefit.
Yep. So that's the scenario of somebody that can actually put in 60,000 and they have about maybe a year or two to plan. But if someone or a couple that or even you're not married yet, you have not encounter the right person yet, right? But if you foster a habit of saving on a monthly basis, then this is something that you can do, like 20,000 a year for the first 3 years, right? And then after that 12,000 year 4 and beyond. But the same principle apply, right? Is saving on a monthly basis, just put into a different vehicle, not your regular saving or CD on your local bank, but in a high cash value, especially designed whole life policy, whole life insurance policy with a mutual company. And if you do that, then really you actually build a foundational asset and an end asset, because now your money have the ability to do multiple jobs, right? Not just in one.
In this scenario, I'm thinking of somebody like a young person who's just graduating school. Millennials nowadays, they're not going to have that huge dollar amount to buy a house right out of college, because they're starting their careers. They're not able to have that money saved up. But if they're living at home with the parents and the parents are helping them out, they can save a little bit more on their own, at least to kind of get their life started or think about their future.
That's right. So anyways, we would like to share with you real quick this two scenario, because we think this asset is going to be huge for your family, for your life, regarding if you plan for a wedding or not, right? Because the money is there for you to use if an emergency come up or an opportunity come up, right? And again, saving in this way will actually help you, is a hedge against inflation too, because your regular saving account now, let's say, I think is the interest is like
0.02%,
right? And let's say very conservatively, right? This account the whole life will have a guarantee rate of 2%, right? So 2% compared to 0.02%, that actually 100 times more efficient, right? So that's crazy.
Right.
And so we share with you this video. Just of course you're gonna have a lot of questions. But if you do and you found this video have great value, feel free to reach out. Johnny and I, we specialize in this, prosperity vault, and we're glad to have a conversation with you to find out more about your situation. And if you do plan for a wedding or basically plan for the future, right? We basically will have a case, a design, a policy that fits your needs, your goal, and your cash flow. And so we're excited about that. So that's it for the video. Any final words?
No, again, if we had known what we know now, definitely for you young guys and the folks that are engaged, about to get married, perfect vehicle to start your life and get off on the right foot. Because marriages nowadays, the number one stressor is finance.
Yeah.
So when you don't have that to worry about, smooth sailing.
And feel free to share this video to your parents as well, because they can actually play a big part in your planning. Okay, and so they'll be happy to know about this option, right? And so anyways, thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you in the next video. And of course, go out there, live fully and joyfully every day, and be bold,
Be prosperous.
Bye bye.